G'day everybody, welcome back to Starfield. Hope you guys are doing well. Now, the previous episode was a pretty heavy episode, wasn't it? The Starborn decided to get serious for once and actually attacked us, both at the lodge and at the eye. Now, fortunately, most of our crew was unharmed, except for dear old Barrett, and yeah. Unfortunately, we did lose Barrett, actually, and I'm a little bit cut about that because, you know, I mean, he's not like a love interest or anything like that, but he's definitely a pretty good character. I liked Barrett the most, really, within Constellation, compared to all of the other companions that we have. But you know what? If that's the way the game, you know, has it, then that's the way it is. I don't think there is an actual way to survive the attack without actually losing anyone who has joined your crew or joined Constellation for that matter. But anyway, on with life without Barrett. Now, one thing that we do have to do is we need to set up this thing. Let me just take a look at it. Here, the armillary. Now, we can either do that on the ship or we can set up an outpost for it. Now, I've done a little bit of pre-work, guys, and I am sort of making the decision of just creating an outpost to store the relics. So we're going to build the armillary there. And yeah, I'm going to show you what I've done in terms of building an outpost. So that'll be the next, I don't know, 10-15 minutes or so. Obviously, we'll speed it up a little bit so that it won't take too long. But hope you guys enjoy the entire process. Enjoy. Alright, so the first thing that you'll see me do, guys, is just unassigning a couple of people who have been assigned to our old outposts. And that was because, well, I decided that I'm no longer going to need the old outposts that we've already created. So you'll see that I spent a little bit of time here just working my way back to the two outposts and just taking them all down. Okay, now we make our way to the planet that we're going to set up on, and that is in Narian, at the planet Sumati, and there is a moon called Androphon. Now, unfortunately, as soon as we arrived, I had a bit of an issue with some Freestar Rangers being attacked by some Varun Zealots, so I decided to jump in and give them a hand before landing on the planet. Okay, now here you can see that I've done a planetary scan, and this is the main reason for us moving. We want aluminium, helium, and iron primarily to assist us with future base building. Now, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to decide a place to land, somewhere where we might find all of those resources in the one spot. So you can see that I'm using the scanner to try and find the most ideal location. Now, as soon as we land, this is arguably the longest process of this build, which is to actually find where some of these biomes intersect. And the reason you want to find where they intersect is because that is most likely where you're going to find all 4 types of resources, or 4 or 5 of those resources in the one. So you can see me here starting off in, I believe this is like the mountainous area, and then we're sort of running towards where the craters are going to be. You can definitely see the different sort of style of the biomes. We've got some of these rocky sort of blue areas, and then there's the red rocky area over there in the distance. I do want to give a quick shout out, because this is not exactly my own idea. So a shout out to Arix Gaming. So I did a bit of research on the good old YouTubes to try and find, you know, some strategies around building your first base. And yeah, his video came up. It was definitely a really good tutorial. I'm pretty much following his advice. Almost to the latter, I suppose, but I mean, we are also using this base to house our relics, obviously. Now you can see me right now. We're basically taking out the base building structure here, and we're basically trying to find an area with the most number of resources available. And as you can see, we've finally found an area here where we've got aluminium, helium, iron, and beryllium in the one. So I've decided, yep, this is the spot, and I've decided to plonk down our base here. So first things first, with setting up this base, I decided that, well, since we took so long trying to find all of those resources, obviously resource extraction is going to be a priority. So I decided to set up those extractors first, and I believe that should sort of give us an idea of how much power we're going to need, and then, you know, obviously try and fill that demand. Starting with helium extractors. I think I only decided to do 1 aluminium extractor first, and the reason for that is because, well, I needed some of the other resources first, and once we started banking up some of those resources, we could sort of swing back to make an additional extractor for aluminium. And yeah, I think I decided to just go with a couple of extractors each of these resources. I definitely had enough power to do what we needed to do, but I knew that we were going to have to defend this base as well, so I just made sure that we had a little bit of extra power to work with. No harm in getting a little bit more power, I suppose. Since, well, if we're gonna put up some defenses, we may as well put quite a few defenses up. And that's probably gonna eat quite a bit more power, so. Alright, and we are starting to now build the actual habitation area. And we're definitely going to have a couple of people sort of working on this base. Probably Lynn and Heller, because having them here should increase our productivity for mining and stuff. So compared to our previous bases, yeah, this one's going to actually be quite a large one. I figure we would need a few structures. Perhaps maybe that would mean that we're going to be adding a few more people here into the mix at some point. Now, since we were going to have people working here, I figure we'll probably set up a couple of beds. Then we'll obviously get that workstation in. Was sort of umming and ahhing about which beds to use, because most of the beds don't actually look very comfortable, but anyway, decided to just go with those basic ones for now. And our workstation, strangely enough, we only need the one workstation to even get like a couple of people. I thought for each crew member, you might actually need one workstation, but it's not the case. Okay, and finally, just some defenses. Now, we don't really have a lot of lead to work with, and I figure, okay, well, I'm gonna need to break something down to get that lead back, so I decided to maybe reduce the amount of entrances and yet get our turret set up here, and decided to just put it right on top of the entrance there. Cool, and that is the build, guys. Okay guys, we are back on Androphon, which is the location of our brand new outpost, and basically the location of our only outpost as well. So as you've seen, I have decided to take down all of the other outposts that we've created so far and just sort of consolidate everything. Now, it doesn't mean that we're only going to have one outpost throughout the playthrough, because, well, you know, quite frankly, this outpost doesn't exactly have all of the required resources, but it does have some of the most basic resources required for, you know, base building and all that sort of stuff. The few other bits and pieces that we'll need for specific things, we are still going to have to source ourselves. Now, I purposefully didn't build the armillary just yet. And I'm just going to do that right now, so let's get into that. So the idea is I'm probably going to put the armillary somewhere right in the center of this space. Now, ideally, guys, I would have liked this thing to be built within the structure of a base, but I was sort of reading online, and it seems like a lot of people had the same idea, and apparently that is basically something that you can't exactly do. So a bit disappointing that that's not a thing, because considering how valuable these relics are, presumably, you would want them to be, you know, out of sight, somewhere safe. But I guess Bethesda doesn't think so, so it has to be built out in the open. So that's what we're going to do, and I think this is going to be the perfect spot for it. So there we go. You can now move the armillary. Starborn attacks are more likely to, more likely wherever the armillary is placed. If you choose to keep the artifacts in your inventory, then attacks are more likely everywhere. Okay, there we go. So armillary is set up. Now, I have also just remembered, well, I initially forgot that we do need some storage containers for some of the resources that we're trying to mine out here. So let's just set up a couple of these things nearby, just so that we have easy access to some of the materials that we may need. Oh, okay. I've just heard a starship come through, and I'm thinking that's probably Starborn after the relics, after we've placed those relics down. So we will investigate shortly. Yeah, that definitely doesn't sound too good. We might actually have an attack very shortly, so we're gonna probably want to defend ourselves. Let's just get more of these containers down, though. Alright. Yeah, okay, I suppose that's okay. Do another one there. Man, this is, again, another thing that I really dislike about the base building is that you don't really have full control over snapping, and you can't exactly align things the way you want to align things sometimes. And we'll probably need some for gas as well, because we are mining helium. So maybe we'll do the helium across like there. Okay. That looks decent. Let's get out of our building, or building mode, and let's deal with these Starborn. There they are. So I guess with the relics sort of tucked away at our base, what's gonna start happening is Starborn are going to periodically land here, and we're gonna have to face them and just make sure that the relic is secured periodically, you know. I suspect it's very similar to what happened in like Fallout 4, where you'd have like outposts, and outposts may get attacked every now and then. So yeah, anyway, let's head on over, and I was just curious to see if they have actually sent an attack party out. Also just noticed that there's actually another ship right there. Not entirely sure what's going on there, and whether or not those parties might actually fight each other. They have seemed to land pretty far away from our base this time around. I have tested a few things and a few builds before coming to record this episode, guys, so I have sort of seen an attack happen before. And the last time I tested things out, these Starborn landed a lot closer to the base. I'm not entirely sure why they've decided to land so far away. I don't exactly see anyone there. And I'm not seeing any Starborn come out of this Starborn ship either. So... unless they're all in stealth. Because, yeah, those Starborn can definitely hide themselves. We'll just approach a little bit more. And if there's no actual attack, then that's great. Don't have to worry too much. And we can worry a little bit more about trying to actually get the outpost set up the way we want it. Yeah, alright. Well, definitely a Starborn ship, but no actual Starborn. I did put a turret in front of the entrance of all of our HABs, and just made sure that we had some level of defense. Okay, very small outpost here. That one seems to be hanging around though. Okay, let's go back. Sarah's still tagging along. That's fine. I did try to let her go, because I thought she could interfere with our base building, but I think at this point in the mission you still can't exactly get rid of Sarah. She has to sort of tag along with you. Oh, here we go. Got something going on. Ah yes, we've got Starborn. Let's change up to Solar Flare. Let's see if we can take these guys out.
Wait.
So it appears that these guys also attack some of our structures, which is kind of annoying. Okay.
Get to the
Slippery little bugger. There we go. Got 3 more. Almost died there. Okay. Sarah, you probably do need a weapon.
Nice bit of work there.
Okay. Yeah. Sarah not having a weapon is definitely a problem. Let's fix that, shall we?
It's done. Let's head home. We should regroup back at the lodge, see how everyone is coping.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the same thing that I tried to do before, which was actually remove Sarah from tagging along with us. We can't exactly enter our dialogue options with her at the moment, so it seems like that's going to have to wait. Anyway, let's just continue with our building here. So I'm happy with the way these two are set up, but I'm not happy with these four. So I'm gonna see if we can just change some of that. So we'll remove these. And let's try and get these back. Or would it be better if we just kept all of the storage together? I'm not entirely sure.
What are you going to build next?
Yeah, no, that's not right. Yeah, look, I think that'll have to do. And yeah, with storage, we also do need to link up some of our extractors here. So let's do that. So create an output link. And I think by creating a chain of output links, incoming items will fill up the storage container at the end of the chain first. This is useful for providing storage for the output of extractors and builders. Okay. I think you have to definitely link storage containers to each other, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, so let's just look for our other extractors here. So we've got our helium. We've got our iron here. Let's get our iron going in. And we'll link that up. We've got our beryllium extractors here. Let's get that going. And one more group. And we only have the one aluminium extractor, and the reason for that is because I sort of needed beryllium and iron more so than I needed aluminium at the moment, just for base building purposes. But I'm sort of hoping that at this point we've actually got enough for an additional aluminium extractor, which I think we do. So that's good. We might as well get that in right now, because we do still have the need for all of that aluminium for Hope Tech, obviously. Alright, so things are set up quite nicely. I really don't know how often we might see attacks from the Starborn to try and, you know, for them that is, to try and get to the relics. Hopefully our one turret is going to be enough defense for now. We do have a couple of people here. Lynn and Heller are now operating from the Androphon outpost, so hopefully that means that we'll get more resources and all that sort of stuff. So, and also hopefully they'll be able to defend the outpost from any form of attacks. I mean, I'm really only guessing at this point, but anyway, let us continue with the quest line because I do want all of our companions back, and I also want to be able to let go of Sarah and trade with Sarah and all that sort of stuff, and obviously give her weapons as soon as possible. So let's get going. Yeah, it's a real shame about Barrett. I don't really know if there's any continuation to the story with Barrett, whether or not we'd have to bury him or anything like that. I'm not really expecting too much, to be honest. Alright guys, I had to cut a little bit there, because, oh, okay. The game sort of crashed on me, so I had to reload, and the autosave was a little bit far, so we had to sort of rebuild a few storage compartments, redo the connections and all that sort of stuff, so it might look
By the way,
slightly
Captain,
different.
Sergeant Yumi was looking for you. Sounds like he's got more work.
The scan is perfectly safe. Please keep moving.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, you know, we did get an attack from the Starborn.
Attention. The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain in place. Please wait
And
for the
I suppose some of the
That is all.
effects of the attack of the Starborn is still lingering, which would make sense, right? I was kind of expecting things to be done a little bit lazily, where us coming back to New Atlantis, things might have still looked exactly the same as what it usually
done.
is, but
Let's head home.
apparently not. Alright, well, this part of New Atlantis doesn't look like it's affected though. People are just still going about their day normally. Nothing's on fire.
If you were a victim of the recent attack, please.
Barrett's belongings have been moved to the lodge basement. Okay. I guess those are the belongings of previous members of Constellation in that case. So I've always wondered why there are all those rooms with stuff in it. Okay. Wow, this is a little bit somber.
Everyone's vitals. Now really isn't the time. I know. Look, we all feel like we've been kicked into the ground a million times over, but I think I have something. I'm serious.
Alright, well, let's have a chat with Mateo.
If I may, I know our encounter with the hunter is the last thing anyone wants to talk about right now, but he said something that I can't get out of my mind. Unity. Do you remember that?
He said our part in glimpsing the Unity was over.
Because he was stopping us, implying that we were getting closer to it. The thing is, I've heard that word before. It's an important concept in Keeper Aquilas's speeches.
The priest? Is the Sanctum Universum going to bless our little crusade of discovery?
It can't be a coincidence. The Sanctum has always believed that answers are out there in the stars. Look, I know it's the longest of shots and the biggest leap of faith I could ever ask us all to take, but why not talk to him?
Where is the Sanctum Universum anyway?
It's right here in the city, just a block or so from the lodge.
You're right. It's too big of a coincidence not to try.
There's no harm in gathering more information. A visit to the Sanctum might actually be quite enlightening.
Thank you. I know it's not much to go on, but something about this feels right. I'll meet you over there.
Alright.
I've been
A lot
lost
of
in
cash.
thought for a bit.
And now I think we've got all of our companions back as well. Apparently we've got a lot of stuff on us. Why is that? Okay, 172. That's not so bad.
I have an important personal decision to make, but I need to discuss something with you first.
If it'll help you decide, I'm here to listen.
Phew, thank you. So, where to start? Before I was with the Navigator Corps, I was career military, part of the United Colonies Navy. When the Colony War broke out, I was posted as the chief navigator on a warship, the Dauntless.
You must have seen a lot of combat.
Plenty. And that's what's weighing on my mind. There was a particularly bloody battle. We were fighting over a world in the Eta Cassiopeia system. Worst fighting I'd ever seen. We lost 12 ships that day. 12. Including my own.
Why the Cassiopeia system?
Economic reasons. Several of the worlds in the Cassiopeia system were mineral rich. Both sides wanted to drop refinery outposts on the surface to bolster their supply.
Hundreds of lives must have been lost.
I'm well aware how many lives were lost. Now let me finish. The ship was barely intact. The captain and first mate died the previous day, which put me in command. A shrewd captain would have called for the crew to abandon ship, but I was so angry. I wanted to stay. I needed to fight.
Despite the damage, your ship still had the ability to fight?
The Dauntless was a tough little ship. No shields and the hull was breached, but it still had power. And weapons. That's why I remained in the battle. Huge mistake.
I don't know what I would have done.
Well, I didn't have the luxury of indecision. I had to act. We fought for hours, but the damage was fatal. I gave the order to abandon ship and the crew piled into the escape shuttle. As the shuttle launched, I could see it was damaged. I heard screams before the radio cut. And last thing I saw, they were spiraling helplessly towards the planet's surface. There was nothing I could do.
Why weren't you on the shuttle with them?
It was my duty as acting captain to be the last person to leave the Dauntless. We had more than one escape shuttle available. So, I elected to wait until they were safe.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
You're sorry. For me? If I hadn't been so stubborn, so eager to prove that I could handle command, my crew would have had more time to escape.
Nothing you've described sounds like your fault.
Try telling that to their loved ones. When the dust settled, the United Colonies gave me a medal. Can you believe that? A damn medal. I never even had a chance to find the shuttle wreckage and give my crew a proper burial.
How did you get off the Dauntless?
After I checked every section of the ship for wounded crew, I took the other escape shuttle. If I hadn't, I would have died. The Dauntless came apart minutes after I escaped.
At least you're still alive to honor their legacy.
That's true. But still, it doesn't erase the real issue here. Remember when you said no one but me would have pushed harder to keep the Navigator Corps going? Well, this time, pushing too hard cost lives. Don't you get it? Everything I do, everything I touch, somehow falls apart. That's why I'm worried about us.
Worried about us?
Look, it's clear the two of us are becoming more than partners. We're becoming close friends. Even though I've pushed people away in the past, I feel different when I'm around you. I feel safer, comfortable, not afraid to admit who I am. I'm terrified I'm going to screw that up.
Ah, you can't get rid of me that easily.
All this nonsense and you still have faith, eh? You really care about me, don't you?
We're partners. I'll always have your back, Sarah.
And I'll have yours. All right, partner. I suppose it's time we get back to work. Thank you for being there, for listening to me when I needed it the most. I'll never forget this. I promise.
I don't know, guys. I feel like the game is trying really hard for you to be pushed into, like, having a relationship with one of your companions here, but I don't know. None of the companions available seem to interest me at all. But anyway,
I need everyone looking out for each other during this time.
There is the problem
Want to see what I'm carrying?
of her not actually having a weapon that she can use. So let's actually fix that. Razorback? Yeah, I think so. That could be good. Or she can take this. Unrestrained Vengeance. The ammo, 3kv LZR. So let's give her that. I don't really know how much we need to give in terms of ammo to our companions, and whether or not they actually would deplete ammo. But let's just give her that. That should last her a while, at the very least. And yeah, let's just make sure that she's... Oh, hang on. She did have something there, so I'm not entirely sure what she had, but let's just make sure that she equips that. And she equips that as well. And... yeah. Hopefully, she actually starts using it. And if we need to, we can now sort of tell her to go back to the ship or whatever. Let's actually look at our crew status. And yeah, everyone's sort of back to where they were before, although they're not all on the ship or anything like that. Let's get... let's see. I want Sam on the ship. We'll get Andreja on the ship as well. We'll get Vasco to be on the ship. And we do have space for one more person, although maybe I should get Sarah to actually join me on the ship as well, so every time we dismiss her, we should still be able to find her sitting in the ship when we need her. So, alright, that looks good.
In the lodge has been measurably reduced.
I think we need to sort of decide what to do next.
Moment.
Alright, so Unity, talk to Keeper Aquilus. Would be kind of good to continue further with Constellation's missions, but I feel like we've just had a huge dose of Starborn activity, and we've progressed the story enough for now. I think it's time for us to sort of swing by and do other jobs here. Due in full, we do need to just report back to Landry about collecting that debt, so I think we can quickly do that since we're here. And there is a matter of us having too much stuff in our inventory. I might actually have something to carry more stuff. Yeah, we'll have a whiskey. That should help a tiny little bit. And since we're here in New Atlantis, I guess we should be able to also go and see some traders. Okay, what's going on here? Oh yes, this is a memorial. Yeah, the Starborn didn't seem to actually do too much damage to New Atlantis.
Can you imagine how many credits flow through this place? Figuratively,
Another
of
successful
course.
venture. And you saved the day too? I wish every job was so win-win. Here's the pay. Let me know if you want another assignment.
Okay. Decent creds. I could take another assignment, but I guess it's probably just going to be run-of-the-mill. Find this person, kill them, and collect the pay. Or, I don't know. I don't know if we do more, we would actually get to do some unique, you know, collections. Preferably, I would have liked to persuade people to pay. But anyway, let's take a look at what else is available. Barrett's belongings. Okay. Where would that be? Ah, in the basement. Yeah, okay. We'll come back to that, actually, because I'm sure we'll have to go back to the lodge at some point. I think it's time for us to go back to Neon, guys, because there's quite a few things happening in Neon. And actually, the next Ryujin Industries mission is on Aquila City, actually. We need to plant those confidential files at Laredo, so we should be able to do that. Yeah, a lot of activities in Neon. And then there's this, our optional quest line to offer up some cash for this venture of our bartender friend. We might as well do that. At this point, we still haven't found anyone with a lot of creds who would need convincing to throw their money at a new investment. I think we can just drop in the money ourselves.
I've flown across most of the settled systems in all manners of spacecraft, and yet I still get sick on the gnat.
I think if it's not gonna be like extremely expensive, we'll just throw the money in.
Walter Stroud likes my idea. Well, sort of. Actually, did he say he liked it, or are we assuming?
10,000 creds, yeah, that should be pretty easy.
Very clever. You are kidding, right?
I'm being serious. I'm all in on this.
You do? I mean, are you really serious about this? Look, I will gladly take your credits if it means you and I can be partners on this, but I'm not trying to guilt you into it. So before you commit, I'm going to give you one last chance to back out. Okay?
I'm in. Let's be partners.
Wow. Wow! This is so amazing! It's you and me. Well, and Walter. But I'm sure it'll all work out. I'm afraid there's not much in the moment I can do to really thank you for this, but I promise you it will pay off. I've got some people to talk to, and a trip to Galbank in my future. Thank you again so much.
Cool. Heard any good rumors lately?
Bit of a slow news day around here. Well, speaking of news, some folks are convinced David Barron, you know, the SSN anchor, is some sort of Freestar sympathizer. Ridiculous, if you ask me. Sure, they ran a couple of stories about Aquila City that weren't totally critical, but come on. Have you ever been? It's really not that bad. Anyway, that's the sort of high-stakes stuff people talk up while waiting on a flight. So glad you asked, aren't you? I can tell. Stop by anytime you'd like to catch up.
Never a
Sweet.
dull day in the big city.
You know, since we're partners and everything, all of the drinks should be free by now. If only. And you know what? There's this thing with Sergeant Yumi wanting us to actually drop in and, you know, have a chat with him about another job. This place spruced up really, really fast, didn't it? It feels like nothing ever happened. Alright. Sergeant.
Ah, if it isn't my favorite part-time security officer.
I was expecting him to ask us to do something, but...
It's a lot of work, as always. People like to say, new? Well, hopefully the recent... The whole department is in the process of... Things can be replaced. Luckily. See you later.
Alright, I guess not. Maybe you already have the task and it's maybe just sitting in our activities, in our to-do list.
Contrary to what you might have heard.
Alright, well, I think it's time for us to go to Aquila City and see if we can plant this evidence
You see security
within
personnel
the
armed with
Laredo
people,
shop
and
or
Sergeant
office.
Yumi just happens to be an old friend. Security scanners, chemical sniffers. The United Colonies sure isn't taking any chances.
And there's a matter of delivering that aluminium to Hope Tech as well, guys. Oh, actually, I almost forgot. Almost forgot, guys, but we do need to sell a whole bunch of stuff, don't we? We'll try to use the kiosk first, and if that doesn't work, then obviously we'll try and go in and find some traders. Yeah, we've got 5,000 creds here. We'll probably still need to go in and find some traders anyway. I thought I gave this to Sarah. Where is she?
Can I help? Dropping off a few...
Ah, she's got a modified AA99. No, that's not what we want her to use. We want her to be using this. And she's got the ammo for it. Yep, definitely. Okay. This spacesuit actually looks pretty badass, to be honest, guys. The chameleon calibrated shock troop spacesuit. It's pretty cool. Superior Constellation pack. Does look quite nice, doesn't it?
Anything I can help you with?
We'll try and actually store some of this stuff. Might be worthwhile.
I picked up
And I have a feeling that maybe we have some resources as well that might need to be stashed away. Okay. Decent, but we are still a little bit heavy. A cutter is 4 mass. That's not really anything, is it? The breach is actually pretty heavy. Okay. Maybe we're gonna have to work with what we've got. Alright. Well, in that case, we won't exactly need to visit any more traders or anything like that. Let's get ourselves to Killer City.
I have something for you when you have a moment.
Alright, and I will actually let Sarah...
I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you. The fact that you risked your life to save me, I don't know what to say.
I only accept thanks in the form of credits. You would have done the same for me.
Well, yes, of course. But that's beside the point. My only wish is that my rescue hadn't come at the expense of Barrett's life. He was one of my closest colleagues and a cherished friend. He always knew how to make me laugh. I'll miss him dearly.
Yeah, I'll miss him too. No one's blaming you for what happened.
I don't have to. I blame myself. Our charter at Constellation has always been to analyze the unknown, but rarely at the expense of our members' lives. Yet all the while, I've been cavalier about taking risks and pushing the boundaries, not appreciating the true cost of my actions. Had I not pushed so hard to pursue the Starborn, perhaps none of this would have happened at all, and Barrett would still be alive.
You can't take responsibility for the Starborn's aggression.
Of course I can. Damn it! Why is this happening to us? We're explorers. Our curiosity pushes us to seek answers to life's mysteries. It's one of the core traits of humankind. Yet in return, this is what the universe throws at us. Beings from God knows where who are trying to murder us. Why? What have we done wrong?
Maybe we overextended ourselves.
Judging from the blow we've suffered, I couldn't agree more. The question is, where do we go from here? Do we stop exploring? Stop pushing the boundaries? Take a more aggressive posture towards the universe? I don't know where to begin.
We keep doing exactly what we're doing because we never did anything wrong in the first place.
I suppose you're right. I just hope we don't make the same fatal mistake twice. Well, I suppose that's all I had on my mind for now. Oh, it was a relief to get all of that out in the open. I'm sorry I got so angry. But I assure you, it's nothing personal. You're the only one I feel comfortable talking with about these things.
I'm happy to be your galactic explorer and punching bag all in one.
Who knew you had so many incredible uses? Well, we have a long road ahead of us. I suppose it's high time we get back to work.
Alright, and I was just about to say, we could probably let her sort of go back to the ship.
I can't help much by just...
And, we'll come fetch her later, because I think what we're about to do, she probably won't appreciate. Okay, here we are, Aquila City. I think Laredo Firearms is just over here to the left, if I'm not mistaken. Or it could be... Oh, actually, my bad. No, Laredo Firearms is a little bit further over that way. But we'll come back to planting that evidence when we come back in the next episode, guys, because I think this episode could be going on for a while. I know it's a mishmash type of episode where we've done quite a few things, progressed the story a little bit. We've looked at outpost building, and I mean, it's not a perfect outpost or anything like that, but I think it's a good starting outpost with the right materials to sort of go a little bit deeper into more outpost building into the future. So hopefully we're set up well for that. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this episode. Leave a like, a dislike, or a comment or two down below. Stay true, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.